Welcome to another drone bully tutorial. A must-known cinematic tips for the beginner. Today I'm at a very foggy old airbase called Greenham Common in the UK. They used to house nuclear missiles in these silos during the Cold War. The missiles are now long gone, but the silos used to be in a few movies, one called Star Wars. Another rubbish weather day in the UK, but I stuck with this footage for a tutorial as it's my first test flight after making a few changes to my setup, and the first decent smooth cinematic motion I've recorded on the Mini 2 despite the weather. No frame dropping or skipping. Something really was wrong with my previous recordings, so I wish I knew now, or back in December when I first started. I guess this is all part of my learning curve. So excuse the bad weather. Let's begin. I have 9 tips and a bonus 10 for you beginners on how to get cinematic footage. So I went out and bought a brand new SD card and threw my old SD cards away. So these new SD cards have a new standard of U3, which gives you 90 megabytes per second. Rather than my old ones, will probably give me about 10, so that made a big difference for a start. Better still, they're only £20 on special price at Amazon at the moment, so get yourself one, they're brilliant. Number 2, get yourself a set of filters. So a set of 4, 8, 16, etc. Neutral density filters are great to help you get that motion blur effect that you need for cinematic footage. On this particular video here I'm on 4 and it's way too low. I should be on that 8 or 16 really. Number 3 are your gimbal settings. What I'm going to do is a separate tutorial on this because there's quite a lot of different user preferences. But basically you can find these settings under control a bit further down. It's called advanced gimbal settings, okay? But we will go through this a bit later. There's quite a lot of settings we can choose from and it's personal preference too. Number 4 is your cache settings. So within the menu on your phone, go down to cache when recording and turn that off. I can't see how sending, even though it's low resolution images or video back to your phone, can't help but slow your footage down in the first place. Even though people say that makes no difference, I'll turn that setting off. So tips 5, 6, 7 and 8 are the mini settings within your app. So looking at the bottom right, make sure you're in 4K mode, 24 frames per second, ISO 100, shutter speed 1/50th, and obviously you need to be in the manual mode to do this. So that's 4K, 24 frames per second, ISO 100 and shutter speed 1/50. Obviously you'll need neutral density filters to be able to achieve this too. And number 9, whatever editing software you're using, remember that timeline must be 24 frames per second. If it's not, you're going to get skipping and dropping out frames. So make sure on your editing software it's set to 24 frames per second. That also applies to when you export your final version. Make sure it's set to export at 24 frames per second. My number 10 tip is do a risk assessment. Have a look where you're going to fly. If there's trees in that area, for example if they're 15 metres, don't fly below 20 metres because the chances are you're going to fly into a branch or something and lose the drone. And make sure you can get to the drone if you do lose it. So is that area fenced off? So just do a risk assessment first. The last thing you want to do is lose that drone. So I hope you found this useful. What I'll do now is play the footage I recorded earlier with some music and edited. So I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe to my channel, it helps. And I'll see you soon.